So is there anything like, because I imagine where you've got your budget in your firm, right? And I can only imagine that sometimes people they don't have this like budget at home. And so there's these massive inconsistencies where you're running the business a certain way, but you're not really running your personal life a certain way. Is there a certain way of aligning those two where it is more consistent? And hopefully that question makes sense. But is it's just trying to figure out a way. Is there a way of just aligning those so that they don't contradict each other in some way?
What I have found since doing the work that I do is that when we help people learn how to get their business finance tuned up, they go and implement those same systems into their personal finance. For example, we love Profit First. It works so well. I don't need to tell you that.
Yep.
And a lot of times people will ask me, can I do this in my personal finance? And I'm like, yes, yes. When I had discovered the book Profit First, it blew my mind because I was already using that system in my personal finance. And I'm like, great, this is validation. Like this stuff works.
Wait, hold on a second. We got to dive into that second for a second. So you were already using the same kind of a system, but you didn't know there was a name for it. You just were using it.
I had no idea. It was like reading the book and looking at my personal bank accounts. I was like, yes, yes, yes.
Wow. So it's great for validation, but it was part of you kicking yourself for not writing the book because that is. And did you have a name for what you were doing, or you were just doing what you thought was the best?
I was just doing what I thought was best. And, it's even in Mike's book, he talks about I'm not reinventing any wheel here. This is a principle that's outlined in The Richest Man of Babylon. And that book is how old? And that's one of the things with finance. There are not any wheels to recreate in finance. It has worked the exact same pretty much since the beginning of time. It lives in the same cycles. It's very consistent.
That I think it's fantastic. It's a great story. The What's interesting to me is that the people we talk to that are resistant to profit first that and I don't I think part of it is maybe just like they don't like it's too much work maybe to them they think I think that maybe that's what it is, but could you come up with an argument as to why someone shouldn't use profit first?
No. Now, the number and the names of the bank accounts, depending on your industry, sure, but not using it at all, there is no argument. And that's to the point of sometimes we got to be patient with people because when we work with law firms, we find people are resistant too. And it's like, okay. And I can't tell you how many people ended up switching. They're like, oh, wait, I get it now. I see the value. Or they'll start with just one or two bank accounts and they'll be like, oh, wait, it does make sense to separate payroll and OPEX.
Yeah, to me, it's an easy solution to the idea that we're not using cash anymore, right? Where everything is just automatically deposited or withdrawn, and so we don't see it. So it's almost like it's not real. And but if we were using, like, was it Susie Orman used to talk about the jars, or maybe she still, I think it's Susie Orman talks about the jars and putting the money in the jars or whatever. It's the same idea there too, but you actually could see it, where it's kind of a solution to not being able to see your money all the time. And I wonder if you would agree or disagree with that. Maybe disagree with it, but that's kind of the way I visualize it.
No, I agree. And in the book, Mike does a phenomenal job of pointing out the psychology behind it and why it works so well when everything is visually, physically separated. It works in alignment with how we operate from a human level.
Yeah.